This is the best instant camera you can buy right now, and it's called the Lomo'Instant Square Glass. It comes from a brand called Lomography. They are basically put together just to continue the pursuit of film as a medium for photography. They produce films of their own, and they also make a wide variety of cameras, including this model here. This is a dual format camera, so I've currently got it set up with the Instax Square back. Oh, I should have mentioned it takes the Fujifilm Instax films. This one's got an Instax Square back at the minute, but you can also outfit it with this one, which is for Instax Mini, if you like the smaller size. In the box, you'll also find a wide range of accessories, including some gel filters for the flash and things like that. The most notable, I think, are the splitzer, which allows you to do some double exposures with one half of the frame exposed on the first half and the other on the second. And we'll come back to that in a second. You also get this little filter, which goes in the front and offers you a 0.5 meter minimum focus distance, which is perfect for getting a little bit closer to your subjects. Speaking of which, the camera comes with a single lens and 3 zones of focus. You've got infinite focus between 1 and 2.5 meters and 0.8 meters as your 3 settings. So basically quite close, a little bit further away, and then infinity. That's not where the control stops either. On the back here, you'll find an array of buttons, and they give you access to all sorts of features. You can turn on and off the flash. You can enable a multi-exposure mode, which allows you to take multiple different frames. There's a exposure compensation section, so you can add or subtract from the light hitting the film to try and make it brighter or darker. There's an automatic mode, but there's also a bulb mode. And if you've ever seen like those light trail shots at nighttime, that's how you get those basically. You press the shutter once, that will then set things going. And when you press the shutter the second time, it closes and your picture's ejected, which means that you can have some really long exposure times with all of the light that happens in that time frame hitting your film. And last but not least, there is a 10-second timer function on this. But it might not be all that necessary because in the bottom here, there's a remote control. So you can actually take an automatic or a timed shot via this little remote control. I don't know what the range is on it, but it's absolutely brilliant for if you wanted to say, set up on a tripod and take a selfie, you can do it with this, pop it in your pocket and get your picture. Let's now go to opening this because it is fun. So let's talk about the size, because one of the things I really like about this is how convenient it is. It's got a folding mechanism for opening the camera, not entirely dissimilar to older cameras like the SX70 where they used to open up and fold down. But what it does mean is that although the camera itself in use is fairly large, when you're just moving around with it, it's so easy. This goes in a bag or even the pocket of a cargo trouser. It's so easy. And for reference, I've just got the Polaroid Now Plus Gen 3, so you can see the size difference here. Not entirely dissimilar, but this one is a lot thinner. Let's talk about this in use. Now, the first thing I'll say is that opening mechanism is not the smoothest thing in the world. There's no button that you press to sort of unlock it, so it is just a bit of brute force, and it does always feel a little bit like you're breaking it, but in my experience that tends to mean you're just fine. To close it, you simply pop that one there and that will go down. It's a similar situation actually with the hinge on the back for the film door. It's a little bit janky sometimes. You can't just sort of press it in to depress and close. You have to pull it back down. Little things that are just worth knowing about before you get into this. And the only other con I'm going to tell you about is the shutter is sometimes a little bit sticky. So I've shot 2 packs of film through this, but I lost 3 shots because as I pulled it out and the shutter was supposed to open, they didn't. So it just came out blank. And that's annoying because one of them I think might have just been my Pulitzer Prize winner, but it's fine, I'm over it. It's okay, it's fine. Anyway, let's talk about the good stuff, because this thing has a glass lens, as you might have guessed from the name, and that means that you get some incredibly sharp photos. I've gone out and shot a few this morning, but I've got loads more from my time with this camera, and the one thing that always gets me is the detail. If you've used any other kind of instant camera, you'll know that sometimes those fine details are just missing. There's only so much resolve you can get from plastic lenses in cheap cameras, but this doesn't have that problem. And the result is that this is probably the best camera you can buy if you want to do landscape photos on instant film. So, why do I think this is the best one you can buy at the minute? Well, it's very well featured. There's a lot of control you've got on it. It uses the Fuji Instax film, which despite my personal love for Polaroid, is probably the better choice for most people. It's also a little bit cheaper by and large, so that makes it a nice consumer option. But also the price. This comes in at £139, which is not cheap, but it's not as ludicrously expensive as I thought it would be. For that price, you're getting probably the best lens I've seen on an instant camera to date. A lot of control, but just the right amount of control as well. You don't have to dive into too many settings. You've just got enough that you can be a bit more creative with it. And I think that's really special. So for me, this one's a winner.